Who replaced him on that documentary unit looked at me and he said, "You don't work here anymore, you're on the evening news." I wound up spending just about 14 years on the CBS Evening News with Walter Cronkite, which was, an incredible experience. My life changed during the Gulf War. CBS lost 4 people. We didn't know what happened to them. They said, drop everything you're doing and try to figure out what's going on, and if they're alive, let's get them out, and if they're not alive, find that out, and you're going to have to deal with the families. So for 6 weeks, it was really quite an experience, but we got them out. It really was extraordinary because I saved 4 guys' lives.
In all your years as a journalist, what's the memory that sticks out?
Working for Walter Cronkite, when he was the preeminent journalist of his time, and when he was called the most trusted man in America.
August of 1999, you started working here, correct?
Right.
With no prior teaching experience, but you have all this experience with some of the greatest news organizations.
Yeah.
So what lessons and what advice do you give your students?
What I try to do more than anything else is instill a feeling of professionalism in students.
Okay, and this is your last semester teaching at UM, correct?
Yeah.
So what are your plans?
I'm going to read a lot of books and rest and relax and travel a lot. My children are spread out all over the world.
If you had a chance to go back and choose another career, would you?
No. It's just been an extraordinary experience, and I hope everybody has a chance to do it.
So back in the day, I always had school off on Good Friday and other religious holidays, but nowadays I don't always get those religious holidays off. Ashley Manelli is here to comment on that.
With Easter weekend coming to a close as of yesterday, it seems like a perfect time to discuss UM's religious observation policy. As it stands, the university policy is as follows. The university annually publishes a list of those dates it has designated as major religious holy days. Instructors and administrators shall endeavor not to schedule any examination or other graded class event, nor any major university activity on a major religious holy day. Very few students are aware that this policy even exists. While religion may not be a main factor at the university level, it is ironic that at UM it seems to prevail throughout daily life, yet the university and its professors do not always give religious observation the importance it deserves. A perfect example would be how Hillel and other Jewish programs are so highly promoted on campus, yet on Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah, classes resumed as usual. In fact, in one of my classes last semester, I had an exam review on Yom Kippur. Although we are supposedly not allowed to have exams on religious holidays, doesn't it seem that exam reviews should also be taken into account? It also seems that many professors are inclined to count the religious holiday absences towards their allotted absences in the class. However, how does this fare in the grand scheme of things? As a college student, only meeting in a class 1 to 3 times a week means that every minute counts. Missing a class for a holiday may seem like it's not a big a deal, but that hour or 2 of missed material can mean the difference between an A or a B on an exam. My final appeal on this issue, if you can't give us off for every major holiday, at least lighten the material or propose interactive notes on those days. And please make sure, professors, that you clearly make known the policy for all students on campus.
Many people have tattoos, even you Canes out there. Reporters Felipe Yanez and Annalisa Horinganzo explored this tattoo craze that many of you may have.
Meet up bodies on campus.
Others are a bit more difficult to point out, but whether it has to do with the pain endured during the process,
or the meaning behind it,
each tat has its story. Off the Wall took a closer look at these students.
Can you describe the experience of getting the tattoo right along your ribs?
Oh yeah, basically was dripping in sweat the whole time, and it took about an hour and a half, and very close to crying.
I actually didn't find it too painful. I kind of enjoy getting tattoos. It's kind of an adrenaline rush. Like, I'm an adrenaline junkie, so it's just a different way to do it, and it's a little bit safer than, jumping on a motorcycle or skydiving.
Really just exactly what it is. It's a needle going into your skin.
It was the most painful thing I ever experienced, but it was great. Once it starts, no turning back because you got to finish the tattoo.
It wasn't terribly bad. It bled a bit, but in the end, it was all good.
It was the most painful thing I've ever done. I almost stopped when they were at the trunk because I was in so much pain. It's raw skin, it's raw bone, and I don't recommend anyone getting it on their ankle.
So what exactly does it represent?
It does represent someone really close to me, which is my grandma, and she's always taken care of me, so I did it for her.
I have probably a personal connection with elephants. I think the animal is a really interesting, intelligent animal. I like Indian culture, and this elephant has its trunk up, which means good luck in India. And I'm also allergic to elephants.
I really have a strong appreciation for my homeland, Canada.
And so I think that the closest I can ever come is to have one on my foot.
Stars, it's like a piece of home for me. I'm from South Carolina, and where I live, it's really clear skies, and at night I would go to sleep with my blinds up, and it's like I slept under the stars. And so instead of getting like the state of South Carolina or Carolina girl tattooed on me, I got like stars.
A dove represents safe passage to heaven, and then another one on my back, it's a cross with wings coming out of it. And that one just kind of reminded me to hold strong no matter how things get. It's about life,
Wow. Well, those were some nice tattoos. Do you have any tattoos, Brian?
Unfortunately, I don't. I try to be rebellious in other ways, like stay up late and listen to rap music, not really the whole tattoo thing.
Okay, well, that works. That works. So we see that some of our classmates have tattoos, but we also see our classmates kissing significant others sometimes. So I went to go find out what you guys think about PDA. Do students see it every day? Do they ever see it? I'm talking about PDA, public display of affection.
I see it sometimes, usually at restaurants or things like that around campus, never really in between classes.
I haven't really seen anything since I've been here.
Sometimes I see a little PDA, makes you feel good in the morning.
You definitely see it every day when you're walking to and from class, and it might be kind of annoying if you're a single person.
So what kind of PDA are students seeing?
Full-on making out. If you've been up in the stacks, there may be some people doing a little bit more than making out.
They're kissing, hugging.
It's like holding hands and sometimes people snuggle and they'll kiss off.
One time I was walking from the UC to the Cosford, and there were two people on top of each other making out in the green.
I've definitely seen lots of making out, holding hands, groping a little bit.
Hugging, kissing, holding hands, nothing lewd.
Sometimes kissing or hugging, but
on the Wellness Center Love Bridge, students express their feelings on cement. No matter what form it's in, the question is whether or not PDA bothers students.
I think it's funny, actually.
It doesn't bother me. I mean, it's college.
It doesn't bother me because when I'm in a relationship, I might do the same thing.
If it's extravagant, yes, it bothers me because I just think it's a little bit obnoxious. I think that when you're in a public situation, you have to be mindful of other people's preferences.
Not that I'd consider it a problem. It's just natural.
I say the more the better.
As long as you're keeping it, I would say PG-13. I think that's fine.
Not everyone likes PDA. It may be best to keep it G-rated. I'm Monica Yancey, UMTV.
Honestly, what's wrong with showing a little bit of love? I pay enough money to come to school. I should be able to kiss and Richter. No?
Okay, Brian, please. Well, we hope we talked about what you wanted.
We hope you have a good night. And until next time, this is Real Talk with real people. We'll see you.
Keep it real.